What's up guys, today we're going to be going over what you should be using in Legend Lost Sectors this season to get those solo clears and farm all those different exotics. In this video we'll be showing off the build for all three characters, also showing off one run for example. And before we begin, my code AIR is 30% off for G Fuel through the 4th, so definitely take advantage of that. Click the link in the comment description, it'll take you over to their store. If you're not huge into caffeine drinks, you can check out their hydration line, which is caffeine free, and the flavor I recommend is definitely Phase X. It is the one I drink all the time. Let's go ahead and begin looking at the Warlock build, and this loadout will be pretty universal for all three characters in terms of weapons, and that's going to start with the Scepter, which will be our main source of ad clear. We'll just shoot one target, it'll freeze everyone nearby, then they will all just shatter. Then we have a fusion rifle of choice. I prefer the Cartesian with high impact reserves, and I actually like high impact reserves for the lost sectors because I purposely go on my way to not reload, and as I shoot more and more champions, they just die quicker and quicker. But this is the slot I change depending on if there are shields in the lost sector of the day, so I'll put on plug 1 for arc or even null composure for void. Then just like the Cartesian, I prefer the Corsair's Wrath when I'm on solar for high impact reserves, and once again I'm going to purposely go on my way to not reload, as you'll see in the gameplay, and kill champions like 2, sometimes even 1 shot. Then we go ahead and look at the rest of the build I'm using Warlock. We're going to be starting off with Bomb Trade Dawnblade because it is absolutely broken for ad clear right now. We'll be pairing that with whatever exotic of choice. I prefer the Fellow Winter's Helm. You can use the Crowded Grip, Winter's Guile, whatever it is. And looking at our mod setup, first we're going to have Elemental Ordnance to create solar elemental wells. Then we have Bountiful Wells to double all the sources of creating the wells themselves, along with Thermoclastic Blooming to create orbs. We also have Explosive Well Maker, which will allow us to create 4 solar wells per nade throw. Then when we pick up the solar elemental wells, we have Flaunt of Might for a 25% buff to all our solar weapon damage, along with 2 innervations to help get our grenade back. Then on our class item, we have Particle Deconstruction and also Thermoclastic Strike to stun overload champions. And for all the Legend Lost sectors, you don't need anti-barrier, as you'll see in the gameplay, but if you want to play it safe, you could put on an AR instead of the Scepter and put this mod on. But as you'll see, you definitely don't need it, and you can easily melt the barrier champions without it. And if it is a lost sector with Unstoppable, you just take off these 2 left mods right here. Will leave you 6 energy to then put on Unstoppable Fusion Rifle, which will work with your Fusion and Linear. So the way this build works is you simply just melee overload champions, which will not consume your melee charge. Then you just simply 2-shot them with your Cartesian. Then for barrier champions, I like to prime them with 1 shot of the regular fusion to get particle deconstruction ×5 going. Then you 2-shot, or if you're on like the last shot of your Corsair's Wrath with high impact reserves, you'll 1-shot them, and you easily kill them before they even put up their barrier. If not, just do it again and they'll die. Then if it was Unstoppable, obviously just aim in with your fusion, wait for the round to be ready, shoot at them, stop them, and then pull out your Linear, and you'll 2-tap them. Then during this, I just use the Scepter for all the ad clear, or if there's a big group of a lot of enemies close by, I'll just toss a nade. Then it'll just do the chain combustions and proc Fellow Winter's Helm, debuff them all, and they'll all just be dead. In general, this is by far the most efficient build for all Legend Lost sectors. Obviously, each one you might have to make a few tweaks here and there due to shields or what type of champions there are, but this is what I've been using all season long, and it works extremely well. So I'm just gonna let the rest of the gameplay go, and I'll be back at roughly 4 minutes and 10 seconds for the Hunter build. So now moving on to the Hunter build, we're going to be using the exact same weapons for exact same reasons as on Warlock, but now we have the Reed's Regret because it is Stasis, and we're going to be using Revenant with this build right here, which I've been using a lot and most of my Hunter builds this season. So if you've been watching those, you know what they are. And our exotic armor piece of choice will still be the Star Eater Scales to get our super extremely quick by picking up the orbs. We also have Melee Wellmaker to create Stasis Elemental Wells. We have these 2 mods right here. Then when we pick up the Stasis Elemental Wells, we have Flaunt of Might to get 25% more damage for our Scepter along with our Reed's Regret. Then our next mod of choice will be Elemental Charge to get 2 stacks of Charge of Light when we pick up the Stasis Elemental Well. We also have Thermoclastic Blooming to create orbs from our Shuriken kills. Then with those stacks of Charge Light, we have High Energy Fire for that 20% buff, which will be stacking with Phantom Might. It'll just make it easier to burst down the champions. Once again, we have Particle Deconstruction and Thermoclastic Strike to stun the Overload champions. And once again, if it is unstoppable, you just take off the left 2 mods and put on Unstoppable Fusion Rifle. And overall, this build you play more or less exact same as the Warlock 1. Use your melee to stun the Overloads, Fusion Rifle to kill them, which depending on which one you have will 2 or 3 shot them. You use the Scepter for Act Clear, and before you go up to a champion, if you can, try to melee something to get the Stasis Well to get Phantom Might, and stacks of High Energy Fire. And just like on Warlock, you shoot the barrier champions once with a fusion to get the Particle Deconstruction ×5, then you just simply 2-shot them with your linear. And once again, if they are unstoppable, you just simply hold your Fusion Rifle out, proc the round, shoot the champion, pull out your linear, and 2-shot them just like the barriers. One thing I like to do on this build compared to Warlock is if there is a heavy accurate section, I'll definitely make sure to spam my shurikens at them for a bit and create all kinds of orbs, pick them up. That way I'll have my super for the boss fight, which as you see in this gameplay will help greatly and kind of will just control and freeze that entire area with the champion, boss, and all the enemies around it. It makes that final part extremely easy. But overall, you play this build pretty similar to the Warlock 1 in terms of how you deal with the champions. And once again, you don't need anti-barrier AR. As you see, you can easily kill a champion before they put up their shields. But if you're not comfortable with doing that, you could put on AR in place of the Scepter. Once again, I'm just going to let the gameplay go out, and I'll be back at roughly 7:15 with the Titan loadout. Alright, so now finally moving on to Titan build. You could use the exact same weapon loadout, but this is the first one where I think if you have Vex Mythic class, you should be using that instead because it is solar and will be your main act clear. And the whole point of using Mythic class is that you'll be getting way more solar final blows, which means you'll get the ×4 Firewalker more often, which is going to be a huge portion of this build. We'll be using Bottom Tree Sunbreaker for all these sunspots and things like that. And our exotic armor piece is the Path of Burning Steps for that 35% buff when we get solar final blows. And our mods of choice will be Elemental Time Dilation to make Phantom Might stack and increase the timer. We have 1 stack of Elemental Ordnance to create Solar Elemental Wells from our grenade kills. Then when we pick up those Solar Elemental Wells, we have 2 stacks of Phantom Might, which should give us that 25% buff that will stack with Firewalker for roughly 17 seconds. And then just like on the previous characters, we have the Thermoclastic Strike to stun overloads along with Particle Deconstruction. And once again, no barrier rounds, but if it is one with Unstoppable, once again take off the left 2 perks and put on Unstoppable Fusion Rifle. And once again, just like the 2 previous builds, it works more or less the exact same way for champions. You just melee overloads to stun them. I shoot them a few times with Vex to get Particle Deconstruction ×5, pull out my linear, 2-shot them, or even 1-shot them. And once again, if you're using high impact reserves on the Corsair's Wrath, try to go out of your way to not reload, because once you get down to the final like 3, 2, and 1 shots, that's when you're going to be really like nuking champions. And once again for bears, I just shoot them a few times with Vex, then pull up my linear. And if you have Firewalker ×4 going, you're going to be 1-shotting them. And once again for Unstoppable, if you need it, you just put it on, pull out your Vex, hold down your aim for a bit, proc the round, shoot them, then just do the same thing as all the other champions. And like I mentioned, if you don't have Vex, you can just use the Scepter Fusion and Linear Fusion build the same way as Warlock and Hunter. And yeah, I think that's going to be pretty much it for the commentary. I think this is by far the best loadout for Legend of Lost Sectors this season, and the best universal loadout that will work for all of them. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, my code AIR is 30% off for G Fuel through the 4th. I always appreciate you guys using my code. Like usual, thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.